Good morning, everybody. My name is Corey Rosen, and you are listening to the Story Podcast. Today, I have on a super awesome guest, a returning guest.
Yay!
This is
I'm
Jess
back.
Zimmerman. The Jess Zimmerman Band is a country rock band formed in 2015 and based in Southeastern PA. Jess's love for country and music combined with rock influences from musicians, artists like Halestorm, Carrie Underwood, Van Halen, Gaga,
It's okay.
Benatar, and McBride. The Jess Zimmerman Band is a sweet cocktail of country and rock music, adding in a variety of other genres, providing an exciting and entertaining live show. The Jess Zimmerman Band was nominated and won the 2019 Best Female Vocalist in the Central Pennsylvania Music Hall of Fame Awards, and the Jess Zimmerman Band was awarded Best Country Band in 2021 at the CPMAs as well. The band is up for 3 awards in the 2023 Nashville Josie Music Awards. The nominations include Group of the Year, Country Rock Southern Rock, Vocalist of the Year, Country Rock Southern Rock, and Song Achievement Award, the song being Be the Light, which is off their upcoming album.
The title track of the brand new album.
So we get to talk about that. And in the year 2022, you were nominated for 5 awards at the Josies, including Entertainer of the Year, Best Rock Singer, Album of the Year, Video of the Year, and Fan Choice Award. The band took home Country Rock Album of the Year for their album Breathe in the year 2022. And the 2023 awards are taking place on October 22nd at the Grand Ole Opry in Nashville, Tennessee. And you've done a lot since you've been on the show.
I know. I'm just listening to you read that, and I was like, "Oh my goodness!"
It's not even been like 6 months or so.
No, it hasn't. Yeah, we've done a lot. We have a brand new album coming out. It's got 10 songs on it. We have some really, really big shows that we're going to be openers on, and just to be sharing the stage with
Some legends. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit. You're sharing the stage with not only Leonard Skinner, but also the Marshall Tucker Band next week.
Okay, you didn't have to say that next week part, but yeah, we are. It's next week. We're gonna be we're legitimately opening for. I mean, I say legitimate because like I have to like let it sink in. But Marshall Tucker and Leonard Skinner in the Poconos on May 19th.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but the Marshall Tucker Band is still all around, if you know what I mean.
You mean the original members?
Yeah.
I can't for sure say that, but I know there's I think there's a good amount of them that are. Now Leonard Skinner, the last founding member, Gary, unfortunately passed away. He hadn't been playing with Leonard Skinner for a couple of years because of health issues and things like that. So Damon Johnson was his fill-in guy for Gary on Leonard Skinner. So Damon will be there when we play with Skinner. But yeah, it's I don't really know how to wrap my head around it. We got our show time, and it's like, yeah, you're gonna be playing 6 to 6:45 on the main stage, and then it'll be Marshall Tucker and then Leonard Skinner. And I was like,
excuse me?
Say that again. Like, I mean, there's some really big names out there, but like just those such iconic people that I'm like, are you sure someone didn't accidentally copy and paste the wrong email to us?
Well, not only that, because Leonard Skinner is the Southern rock generation of a certain generation. It's like the number one band of a certain generation.
Yeah.
And then the Marshall Tucker Band is like the number one band of the next generation after.
Yeah. So hopefully then maybe we're like the new generation.
Hopefully.
If that's maybe, that could be kind of cool. So, it's I think I'm just kind of mind blown about the whole thing still, and it's gonna come and it's gonna go and it's gonna be all awesome. But
I was so mad that the date I have a wedding I have to go to.
You know what? I think they'd understand. No, just kidding.
Well, I'm performing there, so
okay. No,
I've already got the deposit.
Yeah, don't do. You gotta do that. You gotta. I get it.
I was so bad. I was like, this is like the one chance I might ever get to talk to.
Yeah. And that's a cool weekend. We're doing it's the Lost Highway Motorcycle Show and Concert, May 19th. We have a show, a local fun little jamboree show over in New Holland on Saturday night for a campground. So it's like such a change of pace. And then Sunday, May 21st, is our album release party for our new album, Be the Light, at Mickey's Black Box in Rockledge. So it's, I think, going from, like, if you look at that whole weekend, the 72 hours that are going to take place, it's
going to be a wild ride.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to sleep very much that
Save
weekend.
Your voice.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to pray a lot. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to be like, Lord, you're going to have to calm me down. But yeah, May 19th, May 21st is big for us.
So you just recently went down to Nashville and Florida. But we'll get to Nashville first because I feel like that was first in the journey.
Florida actually was first. We traveled back and forth to Florida a good bit with shows. So we were in Florida for 2 weeks, and we did some shows down there, and then we went to Nashville
to record
Be the Light. Yeah. So we decided, which this was partially my fault, and anybody that's listening from the band, they're gonna be like, "We told you so." We start Monday through Friday as our studio time. We do it all in 5 days because time is money in Nashville and
Absolutely.
all the things. And so since we're self-funded, we were like, okay, we're going to do, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I was like, well, let's leave Sunday so we can get into the studio at a decent time Monday morning, grab breakfast, and just roll in. We'll drive through the night. Won't have to worry about it. So I wanted to leave at an early time in the afternoon because I figured we'd hit traffic. No. We did not hit traffic. We rolled into Nashville at like 3:15 in the morning, and we weren't starting our session till 9. And I was like, ooh, that was my fault. So we ended up, I took everybody that was in the van with us. I drove them around downtown so they could see it while it was like not, infested with people, and got to see downtown Broadway. And we went to this little gas station, and then we drove to the studio parking lot and took a nap till about 7:45. And it was kind of a nap. It really wasn't a nap. But we rolled in and recorded the first part of our album on maybe like 2 hours of sleep in 2 days.
How'd that go?
You know what? I think it was good because we only had for me anyways. I mean, I more like sat back and did stuff on the other side of the studio because I didn't have to do vocals that day. And I kind of helped out with like the producer, and I think we had enough energy to just focus on what the task was at hand. It wasn't that we had all this other energy to be anxious and nervous and expel. It was like, okay, this is what I have to do. This is what my focus is. I only have energy to do this and put 100% towards that. And it was good. I mean, I think, and what else? That's rock and roll in a way.
It is.
The one guy, he's like, he didn't sleep. He was up for 38 hours. So it was just like, we wouldn't have wanted it any other way. At least I wouldn't have.
And so, tell me a little bit about the process behind Be the Light. What is it about? What is the purpose? I mean, Be the Light. That's a big theme in some ways.
It is, yeah. So I always liked the statement "Be the Light," and I always wanted either an album or a song or something to be called that. When I was 18, I got 1 John 1-5, which is where there's light, there's no darkness, or where there's where there's the Lord, there is no evil. And so that was kind of my kind of rooting behind why I liked the statement "Be the Light." And it also is positive whether you're a believer or not. Someone just says "Be the light," and it's positive. You don't feel sad about it. So the process that came about with these songs is we just kind of started writing them. There wasn't like we had a title track or a title picked in general. It was just, we just kind of started writing them, and as we went through, these songs kind of all fit together, and we were listening to the songs through and wanted to pick a title for the album, and it was like, what are we going to do? And I was like, how do you feel about Be the Light? And Joe, there's 2 Joes, but Joe, the guitar player, he did a lot of the songwriting as well, and he was like, I like it. And I was like, cool, I think we should do it. Now, this is our first title track ever off of any of our albums, and so like, there's always the idea that like that title track sets the tone for the album, and are people gonna really feel that song, fits everything, or are they gonna base your whole album off that one song? But I was like, you know what? Like, what rules are there really? You know, why don't we just do it?
Right.
Like, why don't we do it? And I'm also like, I like to be creative, and I like the imagery part. And so if you ever come to a show, you'll see that I usually have rhinestones and glittery, and I like that kind of thing. So it was like, I can run with Be the Light, you know, I can be obnoxious with the gold and glitter and sparkles. And so it's become a really cool concept. And also it's a way for us to kind of put our positive and our faith out there without having people feel that, like, you can take the Be the Light a couple different ways. Like, you don't have to listen to it. You know, if you're not a believer, you can listen to it and still find positivity in it. And if you are a believer, you know, it'll probably hit a little bit differently. So I wanted that. And there are some songs that are on the album that are definitely faith-based songs. And then there's other songs on the album that are, you know, our traditional, like, country live band, you know, the storytelling of, you know, someone was cheating on you kind of thing. So there's all different contrasts on this album, but I think it's a very bold and bright and feel good album itself. So
we have a few tracks from that album.
Yes.
Would you like to go through? Which one would you like to play first?
Well, I think you got Be the Light, right?
I have Trainwreck, Counting Bottles, and Bring What's...
Oh, Bring What's Mine. Okay, so Be the Light maybe didn't come through. All right, so, wow, none of those at all are anything of what I said faith-based. All right, well, let's do Counting Bottles. That's a fun, traditional country song. So, you know, it's just about going out here in a live band and being out with your girlfriends and having all your girls around you. You know, if you're somebody that goes out to Broadway, you'll know, like, oh, a lot of times you want the guy that's cute next to the bar to buy you a drink. So
you're counting bottles.
You're counting bottles. So that's kind of where the song came from.
Let's take a listen. And that was Counting Bottles. What a jam song. Absolutely.
It is. It's a jam song. So, and we'll work on getting the title track. You guys can play that.
Yeah, so we will slowly, across all the other songs, we will get that working on. So Counting, and you're a performer, an entertainer.
Yeah, I try to be.
I remember with your straight,
yeah,
with your straight jacket.
Yeah.
Didn't you like come on stage with a straight jacket and?
It was like not an actual physical straight jacket. Of course. Yeah, but it was a jacket that like went really really far down to the floor and like was like all one piece, and like I wanted it to kind of like symbolize like a straight jacket.
So I'm curious, are there any plans for like staging of like Counting Bottles or like trains and stuff like that at your Mickey's
well, you'll have
Box?
to come to the show and find out.
Oh.
Yeah, I always enjoy and like we only have so much of a budget that we can work on things and things like that. So I enjoy doing things that are like little and creative and just like little surprises here and there. And try and make it a little bit different every time. So we had a session last night where we were working on like different things for the show and like what we were going to incorporate and, playing the album and how we're going to do it. Are we going to play it straight through or what? So yeah, there'll be some fun little things and it's nothing crazy. I don't have the money for pyro and stuff. I would love that. I would love moving stages and to come out of the floor and all that stuff. But, within time, I will get there.
Within time.
Yeah, all within time. And I've started to incorporate like costume changes or like outfit changes. And so that's been really fun, too, because I have, a wardrobe that I like to be able to have specifically for certain songs. And so to be able to add that dynamic into the show is fun.
So say you have a wonderful set of wardrobe. Like
all
your hats, all your like cowboy shirts, cowgirl shirts.
Yeah, and lots of sparkly things. And I love hats. My hat didn't work with my headphones today, but I do. I love hats. I love boots. I love to have like different signature pieces. I'm a big thrift shop fan, so I love to find things that maybe not everyone else has, or I can pull off just something that's a little different. And why not? I mean, I have bright red hair, so like, why not wear an entire dress in sequins?
I was gonna say it'd be almost odd if you didn't.
Right, it would be boring, and I don't want to be simplistic, and there's a place for simplicity, and I appreciate that, and it's just not me.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We have another one of your songs that I'm really interested to hear. It's the train song, the train wreck song.
Yeah, so Train Wreck came about, which is so interesting. So Joe, the guitar player, he actually had this song written, and it was called Love Train. And he had it pretty much already done, lyrics and everything. And he was like, hey, I got this. Can you come put a melody on? Like, cool. So I showed up, and he's sitting at the computer staring at it. And I was like, oh, you good? And he was like, all of the lyrics are gone. And I was like, what? No. So the entire lyric page that he had written for this song, quote, Love Train, deleted, was gone. And I said, well, looks like we're going to have to write some new lyrics. So I listened to the instrumental, and I was like, I wasn't feeling love, I guess, that day. I don't know what I was feeling. So I kind of went along the lines of writing a song called Trainwreck about a relationship that just was a train wreck. And then it also, the person singing it themselves was a train wreck because of the relationship that was a train wreck.
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like the train wreck of like, you're such a mess, everything's just a mess. But it's because the relationship was a mess.
Well, yeah, and it's so interesting how relationships can just affect you.
Yeah, physically mentally, how you react. So like the first line of the song is, I bought a one-way ticket to the Big Easy, which is New Orleans, and down there and all that. And you bought a one-way ticket. So you're going somewhere you're planning on not coming back from, essentially. And, the next line is, caught you red-handed kissing someone who wasn't me. So like you found out that your person that you were with was cheating on you. So like that's already setting the stage for something to be a little chaotic, which unfortunately happens in relationships.
Yeah.
So we tried to, it went from Love Train, which was this whole lovey-dovey thing, to
Train wreck.
So it's cool. It's a fun song. It's fun.
Well, let's take a listen to Train wreck.
Bought me a one-way ticket to the Big Easy. Caught you red-handed kissing somebody that ain't me. Said you were working, baby, that's what I believed. The whistle's blowing, I've left the station. I'm like a freight train with no destination. The price is paid, heartbreaking head games. It's such a shame, such a shame. We're off the tracks, no turning back. 'Cause baby, we're a train wreck. Knew this was coming, saw her name on that caller ID. You should've known better. Why'd you go cheating on me? She's just a hot mess express with a man still in bachelor degree. The whistle's blowing, I've left the station. I'm like a freight train with no destination. The price is paid, heartbreaking head games. It's such a shame, such a shame. We're off the tracks, no turning back. 'Cause baby, we're a train wreck. The whistle's blowing, I've left the station. I'm like a freight train with no destination. The price is paid, heartbreaking head games. It's such a shame, such a shame. We're off the tracks, no turning back. 'Cause baby, we're a train wreck. The whistle's blowing, I've left the station. I'm like a freight train with no destination. The price is paid, heartbreaking head games. It's such a shame, such a shame. We're off the tracks, no turning back. 'Cause baby, we're a train wreck. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh my goodness, what was that?
Okay, so there's a story behind the screaming goat. So originally in our work tape, which if you don't know what a work tape is, it's like your demo that you take down to Nashville. And so in our work tape, there was my guitar player thought it would be funny to have a lady screaming at the end and dogs barking and just, I guess a train crash. I don't know. But we were like, it was a joke for a while on the work tape. And then when we were in the studio recording that, the engineer that we were working with, like, he had the screaming goat in front of the vocal booth. And and they were like, oh, we got to figure out a good, we got to keep the lady scream. And I was like, no, we are not doing that. I was like, that's weird. We're not doing that. And so I looked over and I was like, is that the screaming goat? And he was like, yeah. So our drummer, Joe, grabbed it and he was like, we're putting the screaming goat on here. And so, because it's less than 8 seconds, we can use it and all that stuff. So now We literally have the figurine of a screaming goat, and it's on our new album. At the end of that song, it's a conversations piece, and it's funny.
It's so good.
It's so out of you got the banjo picking in there, and then you got the dogs barking, and
then panning of the train.
The train pan. So if you listen in your earbuds or you have headphones on, like you'll hear the train pan, and the goat actually pans.
Pans too. Yeah,
the goat pans from left to right. So we tried to do a little. That's something I love about just the producing part of an album itself, and I felt like this was the first time that I was able to be part of that producing and like not that I wasn't before, but like full-heartedly and like, hey, I want the train to do this, I want a backwards cymbal here. And so we all work as a team. I just, I really felt like I was able to really kind of put my foot forward in the producing part of things, and that, there's a goat screaming at the end of that song.
It's so good. I don't know. Have you ever heard? It reminds me so much of. Have you ever heard Kanye West's like Christian album?
Yes, I have actually.
His track Chick-fil-A, and at the end he goes Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, right. But people think about it and listen.
It's so good.
It's so good. So the screaming goat. There she is. He is. I don't know what it is. It's a new band member of the Jay-Z band member. But like
it's so good.
Listen to Trainwreck. That's all I gotta say.
Absolutely, yeah, and do so with headphones.
Yes, with headphones. Actually, listen to the whole album with headphones.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there's a lot of little different things that you'll hear kind of in the production side of stuff.
I was going to say, if you don't listen to music regularly with headphones, you're probably missing on a lot of stuff.
Yeah. And I mean, we're not. We only have so much time. Right. We try to go to Nashville with a pretty well-established work tape, and when we get down there, then that's when we try to add all those little things. So if I had endless time and endless money that I could add, there was a lot more things that I wanted to do or add, or I'd be like, hey, like, what did you think about this? And like the guys would just be like, you need to slow down, we only have so much time. And I'm like, okay. So I think you're missing a lot. There's a lot. And I think there's a lot of artists out there that do a lot of really cool things like that get missed when you don't listen on a really good pair of headphones or even just a good set of speakers. It doesn't have to be headphones. Like, get yourself a good set of speakers and listen to music, because there's a lot going on other than just the fact that there's instruments and vocals.
Absolutely. And especially when you like listen in the car, you're not getting that.
No, you're not getting that. Like I have a nice set of speakers in my car, and there's a lot of, and depending on how you have them EQ'd and all of that stuff. So there is, I'm very proud of this album and the little things like the goat screaming. And at first, like I said, I was like, no, this is weird. Like, we're not doing it. And then as we kept, listening to the song, I'm like, you know what does it matter? Just like, let's just do it. Like, why not? It's fun.
And well, because your fans are gonna hold on to that so much.
I might actually shoot myself in the foot because I have a screaming goat now at the end of one of our songs.
Listen, but it staples you as your own unique person. You get like, that's the girl with the screaming goat in her song, and I love that.
Yeah, and it fits. I was joking too. Like, I grew up on a farm, and I just there's a song that has cowbell in it, and which was Counting Bottles. Which earlier, if you didn't hear it, put the headphones on and get good speakers because there's a cowbell in there. And I was like, it's fun little stuff like that just tie in, I think, who I am as a person, and maybe I'm just obnoxious, or my whole band is obnoxious, but it's okay.
Stay tuned for the Screaming Goat Jay-Z merch.
Yeah, straight up. I'm gonna have to see if I can get like a mock copyright of the Screaming Goat, and maybe
put your hat on it.
Yeah. I'll end up on stage somehow.
So tell me a little bit about, we got 2 more tracks of these. You want to do Bring Me, we'll save Bring Me Be the Light for the last one.
Yeah, that's cool. And we can do that. So Be the Light, like I said, title track. But this next song is called Bring Me What's Mine. And all 4 of these songs we have been playing out live before, so people have heard them. We still have 6 other songs on the album that have never been played out before. So but Bring Me What's Mine is, if you've been to a live show that we've done, you'll know that we do rock songs. I love rock. I've never found myself to be into rock. I mean, I listen to it, but never as like a vocalist, a rock vocalist.
I see. Gotcha.
But then working with the band, and they tend to be, I mean, they're rooted in rock music. So, like, oh, let's do this song, let's do that song. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. And so as time has gone on, I've found that I really like rock music as well. And I like that switch over, and I like to kind of do that little bit of a different genre. So this song is rock. Straightforward rock, and if you like rock music, I think you'll like this song.
So let's take a listen to it. This is Bring Me What's Mine.
Such a change from the screaming goat, huh?
Absolutely. Yeah, right. So is that a direction you want to pursue kind of with the band a little bit, or
with rock? I don't ever really want, I'm not a big fan of like a box. So like I never really want to be one way or the other. Now I know it's like, oh, you're country rock, but I feel like that fits both of the things that I generally do at a show. Now on this new album, we also have a blues song, which is something I never got into before. And that song was about a dream that I had, and it was just kind of transpired into this blues anthem, and it's called The Devil's Blues. So I'm excited to kind of see how that goes over with people, and as I think if I never try different genres, or at least branch into different things, then how am I gonna know if it fits for me? Or maybe I'll take a little bit of something from each one and just, like I said, continue creating my own thing. But that song, "Bring Me What's Mine," like that everyone just heard, is definitely rocky.
Absolutely.
We do a Led Zeppelin medley at our live shows, so we'll segue out of our song "Bring Me What's Mine" into Led Zeppelin, and I have a place in my heart for Lizzie Hale from Halestorm, and so she's kind of vocally what inspires me. I don't hold a candle at all to her vocals, but at the same time, someone who inspires me to try and do different things vocally, and it's definitely there's a lot of different stuff in this album.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear the rest of it. And the release party is May 21st.
May 21st.
That's also kind of next week-ish.
Yeah, kind of next week. I know. I was working on some set list stuff last night, and I'm like, oh boy, this is soon. So it's next week. It's in Mickey's Black Box at the Rockleditz campus.
That's Sunday.
Sunday, yeah. We did Sunday. A lot of people are like, why a Sunday? We did Sunday because a lot of our followers follow other bands, or they follow music, or our friends are musicians, or whatever. And we wanted to be able to make it a time that was available for a lot of people. And it's not late at night. Mm-hmm. The doors open at 5, music starts at 6, and it's all ages. So you can bring your kids, you can bring your grandma. My grandma will be there. She's 90.
It's like you guys are a family-friendly show
Yeah,
as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I try to do a lot of stuff for, that's suitable for all ages. I don't ever. We're not a vulgar show by any means at all. That's just not my MO. So.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that. I might have to get tickets.
Yeah. Get tickets. Tickets are on sale. You can get them at the door as well. They're a little bit more expensive at the door, but they are on sale now. And same with Leonard Skinner. And then we also have a big show coming up in June. We're playing at the Barefoot Country Music Festival in Wildwood, New Jersey on June 18th, and we are playing 9:30 p.m. and then Kid Rock plays at 10.
So you're opening for Kid Rock too.
Now, because there's so many things going on, we're not on the same stage, but but you know what I mean. Like, it's like we're here and then he's here, and it's there's a large group of people, and that whole festival, it's Thursday through Sunday. There's like 50 plus artists. And you can't go wrong with going because it's on the beach. You have music. What more could you want? But we are playing Sunday, June 18th.
Sorry, my only caveat with that is it's in New Jersey.
I know it's in New Jersey. But I was like, hey, road trip, everybody. But it is in New Jersey. It's a beach trip on the beach. So, but that's not till June. So you have some time to plan if you want to come to that.
There's so many things that I want to do.
I know. I need clones myself.
I know. Yeah. Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So, where you have this album coming out? Where do you see yourself going from this?
Ooh, that's a good question. I don't know. I think coming off of Breathe and that album, winning Album of the Year at the Josie Music Awards in 2022 was so unexpected. First of all, so we're really excited about the fact that album has made its mark in that. So then having this new album, Be the Light, come out, I don't know. I don't really have any idea what the future looks like as far as, the where my goal is. I have big goals, play the Grand Ole Opry, win a Grammy, share the stage with some legends and people that I've always looked up to, and just make myself a name in the music industry as Jess Zimmerman. And that's a goal I think that you will continue transpiring for the rest of your life in the music industry.
Right.
So I don't think that I'll ever get to a point where like I want to reach this and then I'm done, because then I feel like the ride's kind of over. But I do think that this next album, these next shows, and this group that I have behind us and the support that we have with our family, that the Lord has something planned, and I'm just gonna work and follow his lead. That's the only way I can really kind of keep my head on straight with it. And some days are not as crazy as others. Some days I'm at home and I'm living a normal life like everybody else, and then other days we're opening up for Leonard Skinner, and it's like, I think that's the beauty of the industry, is that it's not your traditional 9 to 5 where I go into work, I know what I'm doing, and I go home and I hang up my work jacket, and that's it. It's never ending, and it's always transpiring.
Because this is also like your full-time job.
Yeah, I have a couple side hustles, because I gotta pay the bills, but. It is. It's my full time. Same with the guys. We've been so blessed in that, and all of our spouses are so supportive, which a lot of people also don't have, which is sad. And you work so hard. There's times where, when we were talking about Florida, where we were away for 2 weeks, and as we continue to grow and as we continue to build this, I keep calling it an empire because you're building these blocks into something hopefully bigger than what you see in front of you.
Right.
And I am so thankful that I have a supportive husband who also understands music, and that because that's something we connect on a whole nother level, and to have that is a huge blessing. So whatever that looks like, I'm hoping we can continue to grow, to get on a tour, maybe at some point work with a record label that doesn't want to change me. But if that doesn't happen, we're still enjoying the ride. And if it does, we have the support behind us that a lot of people don't have, and that that's something to be said in my book, for me.
So you mentioned the Jersey Awards of last year, but you're gonna be there this year again.
We are, yeah. I didn't post it yet, but my husband took a video of us or myself of when we were getting announced as a nominee that I didn't know. I was waiting to hear if we got nominated, and I was so excited. So yeah, we got nominated for 3 categories, and it is Group of the Year, Country Rock, Southern Rock for the Jess Zimmerman Band, and Country Rock, Southern Rock, Vocalist of the Year for myself. And then we are Song Achievement Award for our song Be the Light, which, because the album Be the Light hasn't been released yet, that song is not technically released to anybody because it's not out yet. So the Song Achievement Award is about kind of, you put a song together, but it's unreleased, or however far. It could be a work tape, it could be a demo. Ours is finished, it's just not released yet. So to be recognized for not only that song, and then it's the title track of our new album, is pretty cool. So I'm stoked. Nashville, it's at the Grand Ole Opry. That's the whole Leonard Skinner thing. That's on the same level as Leonard Skinner. What? So yeah.
Absolutely. And we're gonna get to a time of asking questions, and we'll play Be the Light as our outro.
Yeah, that's great.
And so if you have any questions and you want to ask Jess Zimmerman, here's your time to do so.
Send them away. I will answer them as best as I can. Yes.
So some of the questions that I have, I've asked you before a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm curious. You've done all these shows in Florida and been around. What are some of the? Do you have any new funny stories or worse things?
New or worse things. Well, if you listen to the last time I was on this, there was some interesting things. There was some things. So you got to go back and find it in the archives and listen to the other one. So, man, I'm trying to think if there's any new funny ones that have happened. I think we do have a good time all the time. I don't know why there's not one resonating one way or the. Oh, okay. So this hasn't happened to me personally, but we were just in Nashville, recording our new album, and my mom got to come along with. So she ended up being able to come along on this trip and see the whole back process, and has a newfound appreciation for what happens in the recording and production process of an album or songs in general. And we were walking to get coffee the morning of a vocal day for me, and I was like, I just need coffee. I need to get out and just kind of decompress. So we were walking to this little place, and how this happened, I don't know, but she got pooped on by a bird, hardcore, just from the top down. It was awful. I felt so bad for her because like she just like kind of was stunned, and like there wasn't any trees or anything. It was just perfect timing, wrong place.
Wrong place, right time.
And so that was like a mood lightener for the whole day because, you know, vocal day is stressful for me. I have pretty much one day to make the song, make it a shot. And so
can't lose your voice.
Yeah, I can't lose my voice. Allergy season was at a high. So go back into the studio and kind of have that to kick off with. Unfortunately on her behalf, but that was the one that comes to my head right now. I'm sure there'll be other ones that I missed, but
it's always a rite of passage to be pooped on by a bird.
That's what they say. They say like, oh, that must mean, I don't know. I'm not a big like good luck thing, but they were like joking about that, and I was like, I don't know. I feel so bad for her right now.
I was gonna say, yeah. If I ever get pooped on by a bird, all birds dead to me.
Yeah, it's just nobody wants that, but it did. It lightened the mood, you know, because I was pretty stressed that day. So, you know, maybe that's what the Lord knew I needed. I don't know.
It's all part of God's plan.
Yeah, my poor mom.
So I don't know if I asked you this last time, but where do you find yourself most in tune with God?
Yeah, you did ask me that. I think the most that I find myself just like centered and at peace is outside. I'm a big outside person. So I don't do well in the wintertime here. And that's one of the reasons we started going to Florida. I struggle with depression. And so being able to go to Florida and travel there helped break up the wintertime. And I just do so much better outside. I think a lot of us do, if we're being honest. You know,
humans are kind of meant to be outside.
Yeah, we're meant to be in the sun, and we're, you know, meant to enjoy God's creation. So I find that is a big thing for me, is being outside and in music. So outside and in music, those are two things that I find I really, really, really feel close to the Lord, because I feel like they're so universal and so intricate in so many ways. So
we got a question from Luke Jones. Where is your favorite bar, restaurant, venue to perform at?
Ooh, hi Luke. Thanks for asking that. I think I'm about to say the Pocono Park when we open up for Leonard Skinner.
I was going to say, yeah, that would probably be your favorite.
Yeah, that's about to be my favorite. You know, Mickey's Black Box is, you know, and if you've never been to Mickey's Black Box in Rockledge, that is my favorite venue to perform at. One, the staff is amazing. Two, it's just, there's not a bad seat in the place. It sounds good, and everywhere you're at, even in the bathroom. So it's just, that's would be my favorite places. And as far as like your traditional bar venue, you know, I feel like those are so tough because there's so many. Yeah, there's so many. I love, we play Old Red. There's one in Nashville and there's one in Orlando. Old Red is Blake Shelton's place, and those are nice because, you know, they're Ryman Entertainment, which is, you know, the big guys. Right. So it's very, very nice. Everything's set up very nice. It's great speakers, great sound system. Everyone's nice to us, you know, as well. So I'd say that's probably one of my top places.
It's like Mickey's Black Box has got, it kind of has to be since it's in Rockledge.
Yeah.
It's like clear audio. You got Tate, you know, everything.
Mickey Tate, all of those things. So it's, I would say
good.
It is. It's good. So if you've never been there, Luke, May 21st is the is the Jess Zimmerman Band's album release party at Mickey's Black Box. So that sounds like a great time to come check it out.
So you're mentioning about all of these things that you're breaking into as an artist, as a band. What is something that you have yet to do that you want to do?
Play at the Grand Ole Opry.
That's fair.
Yes. Yeah. I would love to play at the Grand Ole Opry. And I would love to do a duet with, you know, I have a long list of people that I look up to as far as like songwriters, and, you know, even if they're not a songwriter, they're a performer, entertainer, or something like that. So a duet with somebody of that, you know, capacity.
We'll see if we can get Lizzie Hale.
Yeah. Oh, yo. Hey, Lizzie, I'm just saying, you know, if you want to cut Bring Me What's Mine and rock it up even more, I'm not even mad about that. Like,
right.
That would be pretty dope. So
I'm curious artistically.
Yes.
Where do you want to see your music go? Like in movies, or do you want to do stuff like that, or?
Yeah, we have a song called Big White Truck, and we've always been joking that we're hoping that Ford picks it up because we're like, how cool would that be? Because it's about a big Ford white truck. So, I think what's really cool in music is that there's so many other fashion or facets of it, not fashions, so many facets of it. So like, I would love to get into an area where like I maybe have a clothing line, or that I do some acting, or, we have some of our music on shows that have to do, I think Yellowstone and Lainey Wilson are a big example of that. Like, so something along those realms, because, there's so much more to it than the music and songwriting. And I think that's all part of being an artist. And I feel like, as an artist, I have a lot to offer, hopefully, that I could give in these other avenues. So there's so many things I feel like I just need the right person to be like, here you go. Like,
here you go. Yeah.
To push me along. And I'm here to work. I'm here to do it. Just at this point, I'm just trying to do it myself, and we're trying to do it as a band. So.
Yeah, I went back and listened to a lot of your catalog, and I was like, oh my goodness, I can see a lot of like Old Man Whiskey.
Old Man Whiskey. Yeah, so we have all kinds of different stuff that I think could be marketed in a lot of different ways, and I think that's a big part of music too. So like,
absolutely is.
You want to be, I don't want to be necessarily commercialized. I just want to be marketable, because I think that it's also a business, and you understand that too. Mm-hmm. It's a business, and there's a realm of it that has to be thought of it as a business. So going into the creative side of it is sometimes hard for me to switch from one to the other. But I think it's a team effort. That's why we have, I have Joe who plays guitar, but he's also very business oriented. And then we have, we call him Mad Dog, the drummer, Joe also, but we call him Mad Dog Mattis. And he's very, into the creative, and also has spent a lot of time in Nashville. So there's a lot of different things that we all bring to the table that I think, I try and take from each one of those and add into the world.
It's always fun to write a song and then realize, oh, this can be used in so many different ways.
Yeah, and everybody interprets something so differently, and how you listen to the song. And I think that's why I really like Be the Light, because it can be interpreted. I don't know what word I'm trying to. I didn't have enough coffee this morning.
That is the second time I've heard someone use interpreted.
I know. I don't think that's
not a word.
That's not a word. Hey, I feel like in songwriting you can get away with not a word, so I'm just going to use that.
William Shakespeare made up words you can't do.
That's right. I'm making up words. Someone has to make them up. So, Be the Light itself, it can be taken so many ways. And like we were talking before, whether you're a believer or whether you're not, it's a positive thing. And we live in a dark world. Right. So, I think that is something that a lot of us right now are gravitating towards, wanting something positive, wanting something that is going to, feel good. One is something that is going to add, just a good vibe to the day and the room and whatever you might be going through, to maybe change that. And I think that is something I love about Be the Light. And I can't wait for someone to listen to the album from front to back and hopefully be like, wow, that was cool. Like, I could see how there was some dark pieces, but the light shined through. And so, like, that's what I want the whole thing to be.
So we're going to end off of that. Before we go, where can people find you at?
Oh, you can find us anywhere online. Just type in the Jess Zimmerman Band, and jzband.org has all of our tour dates, has information about the album release, has information about the Skinnerd, Barefoot, Country Music Fest in June. So we are trying to be everywhere we possibly can. And I don't think you can be out there too much. Instagram, Facebook. I'm trying with TikTok. That ain't really my jam. I'm not.
I'm trying to, and it's so hard.
I like Instagram and the Reels. So, yes. Facebook, Instagram, Reels, whatever, we go on there. We also have a link tree. So if you can't remember where all the things I just said, just type in Linktree Jess Zimmerman Band, and it will bring up literally everything. And it's all in one place. So that's where you can find us.
And you can find me and the stuff I do, all the rest of the podcasts that I have on, and my own music, if you're interested in that, at CoreyRosenProductions.com. That's CORYROSEN Productions.com. We have a lot of things going on, including our singer-songwriter studio, which I need to have you on.
I know. We've been trying to coordinate for that to happen, and then we're going to make it happen one of these times.
And that is where I get 3 or 4 other artists in the area. We come over here, and we write a song within an hour. And so it's a nice little challenge. We had our first one this past Monday.
I love that.
Last Monday. It went really well. I'm super excited for the next one.
Yeah, that's cool.
Upcoming dates of shows we have tomorrow. We have Matt Friedman, which you
Matt.
talk about.
Listen to Matt, what Matt has to say.
He's got a lot of cool songs out there. He's a really good country artist from up north. And so I'm really excited to talk to him tomorrow. Tomorrow. Wait a minute. What am I doing? Thursday.
I was like, is tomorrow Friday? Because I'm a day off if it is.
Thursday we have Mr. Motivation, who is a rapper that goes around to urban centers and talks to the disenfranchised there and helps them get through the poverty, the crime, and stuff like that.
That's cool.
And is a spoken word artist through that medium. So I'm really excited to talk to him about that. And then this Saturday we have the Rock on a Hill Festival over in Hanover. And I'm really excited to go over there and do a mini documentary of all of that. So you're going to see a lot of really cool artists come on the show through there. So I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
I got a whole camera crew
as
well.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So this coming Sunday, we have a lot of people. We have, Darker with Daniel or the Central Pennsylvania Music Podcast.
Yeah.
We're having Daniel come on the show and talk about all of that, and maybe I'll get to gloat a little bit.
You can gloat a little. The CPMAs. Absolutely. You should. You won Best Local Podcast, Music Podcast. That's great.
And it's just funny because we were kind of in competitions, but it doesn't, the points don't really matter.
Yeah. It's cool.
It's all good. And then we have Anchor Ed, who is an acoustic pop metal act, which is...
I love that there is no boundaries in music.
Absolutely right.
Love that.
I'm super excited to talk about that, and how does one make acoustic metal? Because that sounds
like he's doing it.
It sounds like he's doing it. He's got a fan base for it. And then next Monday we have Lael, who is a rapper in the area as well. With all that said, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. And do you want to give a little bit of prelude into Be the Light, or should we just let it play?
You know what? Come to the album release party, May 21st. We'd love to see you guys. Be the light, and just take that sentence or that little phrase and hold it close to you. Because no matter who you are, what you're doing, you can be the light anywhere you are.
Let's take a listen.